If you roll a standard size seeded die across a table and it lands on the number 6, most people will say you got lucky. They will call it an act of chance, a random roll of the dice, a coincidence. But if you could analyze that exact moment with a supercomputer, you would realize that luck had absolutely nothing to do with it. The number it landed on was the mathematical result of the exact angle of your wrist, the force of your throw, the friction of the table surface, the weight of the die, and the air resistance in the room. If you replicate those inputs exactly, you will get the exact same result every single time. Nothing in our reality happens by accident. Chance is simply a term humanity invented to describe a law we don't yet comprehend. The sixth universal law that governs this simulation is the law of cause and effect. The ancient axiom states, every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The masses live their entire lives as an effect. They react to the weather, they react to the economy, they react to their emotions, and they react to the choices of others. They believe life is happening to them. Today we are going to look at the mechanical blueprint of causation. We will break down how to stop being a pool ball bounced around the table by external forces, how the matrix uses the illusion of chance to keep you disempowered, and the exact operational protocol to rise up the planes of causation and become the absolute primary cause of your reality. Let's decode the sixth law. To master this law, you must understand that reality is structured in a series of vertical layers, planes of causation. Most people spend their entire lives fighting on the lowest, densest plane, the physical plane. If they experience a financial problem, they try to fix it by working more hours. If they experience a health problem, they try to fix it purely with chemicals. They are trying to use an effect to change an effect. This is a mechanical impossibility. An effect cannot alter another effect. It can only inherit the momentum of the cause that created it. Think of it like a long line of falling dominoes. If you don't like the direction the dominoes are falling, you don't run to the end of the line and try to hold up the last tile with your finger. The weight of the momentum will eventually crush your efforts. You must walk all the way back to the beginning of the line and find the finger that pushed the very first tile. In the architecture of the simulation, the physical world is the end of the domino line. It is the repository of final effects. The middle of the line is the emotional plane, and the very beginning of the line, the first domino, is always a mental plane. Every physical event was built by an emotional frequency, which was sparked by a mental assumption. Nothing escapes this chain. If you want to rewrite the physical script, you must ascend the planes of causation. You must stop managing outcomes and start managing origins. Now, let's look at why the understanding of this law is critical. The vast majority of people on this plane do not act, they react. They are completely automated. If someone insults them, they instantly become angry. If the news broadcasts a crisis, they instantly become fearful. If the economy dips, they instantly contract their business. Mechanically, these people are acting like pool balls on a billiard table. They do not move because they choose to. They move because another ball collided with them. They are entirely ruled by environment, heredity, and external suggestion. They are the ultimate definition of an effect. The control structures of the matrix rely entirely on this automated reactivity. They create a cause, a curated headline, a market shift, a viral distraction, and they calculate the exact mathematical effect it will produce in the masses. By managing the input, they seamlessly manage the output. But the sovereign individual recognizes that between the external cause and your internal effect, there is a sovereign gap. The gap is your awareness. The moment you pause, refuse to react blindly, and choose your own internal state regardless of external stimulus, you snap the automated chain of cause and effect. You stop being the pool ball, you become the player holding the cue stick. So how do we shift our positioning on the cosmic table? How do we step out of the head condition and operate as a primary cause? It requires a systematic refusal to let the physical screen dictate your internal code. There are two primary protocols to execute. Protocol 1, the retrospective trace. Whenever you encounter an undesirable outcome in your current life, a stagnation in your brand, a conflict in your circle, or a drop in your vitality, execute a retrospective trace. Do not look at the external participants. Sit in stillness. Pull your awareness up your chemical spine and trace the dominoes backward. Ask yourself, what was the baseline mental script and what was the emotional habit pattern that I allowed to run unmonitored over the last few weeks to produce these physical results? Identify the true internal cause. Once you locate the origin, apologize to your own terminal for the unmonitored programming. Mentally, dissolve the old script and consciously initiate a new mental course. The old domino line will finish it fall, but a completely new sequence will immediately begin to form behind it. Protocol 2. The command of waking evolution. To operate as a primary cause, you must initiate more force than you receive. Most people wake up and let the world dictate their day. They check their notifications, reacting to what others need from them. They are starting the day as an effect. Flip the orientation completely. Before you consume a single bit of data from the outside world, you must dictate your own internal baseline. Set your primary mental directives for the day in absolute silence. Choose your focus, anchor your emotional frequency, and initiate your own deliberate actions. And you move through the world as an active generator of force rather than a passive receiver. The external environment will begin to react to your presence instead of you reacting to its pressure. There are no accidents, there is no luck, there is no one coming to save you, and there is no external force that can break you without your unconscious consent. Stop living as an echo of the world's noise. Step up to the primary plane of creation. Become the cause. When you master the law of cause and effect, you stop complaining about the conditions of your life. You look at the mirror of your own reality. You take absolute responsibility for the data, and you calmly rewrite the math equation from the inside out. Now we have decoded the C's eternal law, the law of order and consequence. We are ready to look at the final master key that brings all these movements into balance. In our next episode, we are going to dive deep into the seventh foundational pillar of reality, the law of gender. We will stripe away the modern political data bit and look at the raw alchemical mechanics of generation. We will break down how the masculine and the feminine principles manifest on all planes, how they operate within your own brain hemispheres and nervous system, and exactly how to balance these two forces to give birth to your ultimate creative potential. Keep your courses deliberate. Stay sovereign. I will see you in the next level of the matrix. This is Timeless Film.